Hey guys, this one's going to be very easy for both of us, quite handy and frankly often overlooked. The importance of editing and proofreading. I know it can be expensive. Fuck do I know. However, I will say this, I've had some positive and exceptionally negative interactions with proofreaders, some of which who are overpriced and literally don't do anything. They hand it back to you with corrections made that weren't done at all. Then when you get your money, you're blocked from their accounts. So I chose two different proofreaders before I actually decided to give me a hand, which is greatly appreciated. And they literally decided to cut in one with quite a large sum of money. So my anger kind of spiked a bit, but I had no one to blame it on but myself. I should have vetted them, I should have actually looked for references, past work, so on and so on. I was too impatient and I just went off on a tangent. I thought, yeah, it's fine, be grand, just go ahead. And I paid for it in my pocket and bank account. So from now on, I'm vetting everyone I do work with. Except Ashley, I know she's excellent at what she does. But regardless of how often you read over your own work, because it's your work, you become what's called word blind, or page blind, as is more commonly known, I think. Depends on which country you're in, the word changes, the phrase changes. You will be automatically skipping over words because you in your head know that's meant to be there, that makes sense that I would put that there. That's more often than not where you screw up. You overlook the obvious mistake, whereas someone who's outside of the work and has no real context or no real involvement in it, they can see the clear-cut mistakes, including the ones you have definitely overlooked, and they will correct them, they'll highlight them. So, some actually, a lot of credible editors or proofreaders will highlight the mistake, and you can do it yourself, or they just do it and highlight the changes that they've made, and then you just kind of approve of it and so on and so on. But it's exceptionally important. I know it's time consuming, it may take a couple of months because a lot of proofreaders have several jobs on at once, and it's very difficult to find one that's actually credited or has had past experience. Or you might think look, this guy is just starting off in the industry, I'll give him a hand, I'll give him a job, we'll go from there. No, I'm sorry, but I'm totally against that. I'm not against helping someone out who's starting out fresh, but if they have no credibility, no credentials, no past experience in any way, shape or form, or if they have no experience in at least journalism in some aspect of the way, then I'm sorry, I can't trust your work. I've been burnt too many times in the past. I can't trust you're going to do the job and do it right, or just take the money and fuck off with it. I can't trust you. So I'm going to look for someone who's more credible, with more credentials, more past experience, who will charge more, but I'm guaranteed good work. So if you want to get yourself a proofreader who has just started off, great, you're giving yourself and him and her a chance. Good, just check out the person first, guys. It really is important. Set aside between $125 to $250, euros, pounds, francs. The francs are gone now, there's also euro. You get where I'm coming from? Fuck! Shut up. Just go for it, guys, but honest to God, proofreading is vital for your work. Nothing's worse than getting your book published in store, shop, whatever, and then realizing it's riddled with clear-cut mistakes. I'm just gone mind blank. The reader cannot stay within the story if they keep seeing mistakes. It makes you look unprofessional and poor, like a poor author, as if you're just in it for a quick buck, sort of thing. Which unfortunately some authors are. Some authors don't have the passion for this. They just steal things from this book and that book and this novel and that novella and put it together and somehow get a book deal. Which actually brings me to a later video about publishers. Not against them, I'm all for them if you're going down the route of the traditional publishing stance, fair enough. Again, they also need to be vetted and checked and double checked and triple checked and fucking checked the hilt because many of them are also kind of running a bit of a scam there. It's like there are at least 13 publishers that have just sprung up online in the last month, if not 2 months. They've been in business for the last 60 years, yet you only have a Facebook page for 9 months. Ringing bells? Check it out, seriously, double check about that. Essentially, we are open for a lot of scams, because if you're going down the route of self-published, there's a lot of scams coming your way. A lot of scams, a lot of hassle, a lot of grief. Advertising promotion is going to cost you a goddamn fortune, but again, you have to check that too. You got to make sure the person you give money to is not an asshole. 60-40 split again, as I said in past videos, whether this is going to cause a debate or not. I'm not saying every publisher, every advertising clerk or that is in that bracket of 60-40. There are quite a lot out there who are well known, who will give you a chance, a shot, advertisement, a promo. Some of them actually will cut you a deal because you're a first time author, or you're first time out, or you're a local author, and they'll give you a hand with it. A lot of them won't. They won't care, because to them you're just another number on the sheet, on the invoice sheet. And I get it, it's business. I'm doing business with my book, and they're doing business with their brand, their company, their whatever it is, and that's fine. That's just part and parcel of work and business, and that's the way it is. But and then to come back to editing, actually, it's a tedious job, and it's quite time consuming. But in all respects, it's what you need to do as well. It's almost as vital as proofreading, because the way you edit the book, the way you lay it out, will determine if the person opens the pages of the book and sees it as too daunting. If it's one clear-cut block down the page, where there's no full stops, no commas, no grammar, no dictation, punctuation, if it's just a justified print block, there's no stop, there's no start, there's no pauses, there's no stanza style of poetry. I know poetry may be the bad phrase for this, or the wrong phrase for this, that's poor grammar, but the page has to flow, it has to change, it has to literally just look as if there's a stop, a start, a change of scene. When you click the return key or enter key or whatever you want to call it on the keyboard, it drops down and there's the first indent of the next paragraph. Usually that means there's a change of scene, and the writer can now change their mindset to suit that scene, just as the reader changes their perspective from one scene to the next. They're getting the indication that things are changing. You're no longer in the same place. It's confusing for the reader to not only see the book riddled with mistakes, but then have no idea where or when or what's happening or where it's changing. Even if it's the constant flow of the story is going great, if they can't see, or they can't depict within themselves where the scene is changing to, or when it's going to change, or if it has changed, you're going to lose out on a lot of readers, because it's just going to make everything look too complicated, too daunting to open the book and read too. It really is, guys, it really is. A simple thing is like the hook. The first paragraph, maybe the first page, I would emphasize the first paragraph of your book. It's the hook. It keeps the reader there. It kind of, the least thing that you want from your book is to be a page turner. That's the basic thing. You want people to keep reading, and they won't keep reading if you open the book on the first chapter, first line, first paragraph, and see nothing intriguing. They're not going to keep going. They're just not. Some readers open the book on some random page, and they'll kind of read it. Fine, but there has to be a hook somewhere in that book, usually in the first paragraph. And I can't stress enough, commas, full stops, hyphens. Just guys, seriously, you need not. I've read a book once, very recently, that was essentially the longest run-on sentence I've ever read. The first full stop in the book came on page 94. First full stop. So the first 94 pages was one hell of a run-on sentence. No commas, no nothing. Plus, by the way, 94 pages, that's not a chapter. That's a small book. That's a fucking novella. Okay, that's not a first chapter. That's ridiculous. Seriously, guys, section it off. Has to be a roller coaster ride. When one chapter is coming to a lull, might want to think about ending that chapter and starting the next one on a high. Or maybe do the opposite. Start on or end it on a high and start chapter on a low. But it has to be some sort of differentiate. I can't say words. There has to be some sort of differential. I can't say the word. You know what I mean? There has to be something there that kind of keeps the reader going on these kind of this wave of roller coaster. That's important, and they can't do that if there's not punctuation, dictation, grammar, correct phrases. I'm not saying don't use colloquialisms. By all means, go for it. Go for it. But try and indicate as to where the colloquialism is coming from. You might emphasize that a character has a specific accent or a twang to their voice or to the words that would indicate this person may sound Irish, Australian, American, Canadian, Norwegian. You just put something there. Or if it's a fictional character, a fictional world, try and put some sort of justification as to what the accent or the phrase or the word may sound like, so the author has it in their head. Or maybe you don't want to do that, that's up to yourself. But I'm just saying, for me, as an avid reader and a devoted writer, it helps me stay within a story if I can see or hear what's going on in my own head by the words on the page. It really, really helps a great deal. But guys, for the few euro it's going to take, dollars, pound, whatever the case is, it's going to take to get yourself a good proofreader and an editor. Even if you just do some brush ups on editing yourself, you can do it yourself. Like I said, it's time consuming and it's head wrecking and it's tedious, but it's nowhere near as tedious and head wrecking and as mind fucking as proofreading, because you will miss the words even though you wrote them. You know where they are, you know what you said, you know blah 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 blah. Because you wrote it, you said it, and you're going to miss it. Because you know you wrote that there. You didn't. You fucked up somewhere there, trust me. You come and screw up again. Next page, there's another mistake. Guarantee it, you missed it. Trust me. So get a proofreader. Vital thing to have. Really honest to God, I can't stress this enough. There's quite a lot of proofreaders on LinkedIn. I've heard some people use Fiverr. Each to their own on that one. I wouldn't go near it, but each to their own. I've had bad experiences on that, 2 weeks actually, and I have had a few bad experiences with LinkedIn, but look, it's hit and miss really. Hit and miss, guys. If you actually have done a proofreading course yourself, great. Don't proofread your own work. You're going to miss something. You will, guys. Trust me, you will. You will. But for now, guys, this is it. I have to go to 2 different meetings today. God, I'm lonely. Alright, guys. I will see you in video 5, if I'm not mistaken. I stopped counting these videos last. This is 4 to 5 next time. 5 next time. And for now, guys, this is it. I should say this in all the videos, but if you like what you see, the video, I mean, by all means, like and comment, share to guys, and if you feel like clicking the little subscribe button, great. Maybe even give the bell a little. Don't say ding-a-ling. Give the bell a little click. Yeah, I said ding-a-ling. And great, guys, you'll be notified whenever I put videos up. Jesus Christ, shut up. And I will see you guys in video 6.